Hello, my friends. Today I want to talk about a kind of philosophical situation that I found myself in, and I'm pretty sure you found yourself in as well. And that is when you have to answer for something, and the people in charge of judging you or judging your answers or assessing your character or qualities, they are unprepared intellectually to do that. But they have the title, they have the power to do that. What are you doing? You have to be very careful. I remember when I went to college here in the United States, I have many stories that um, I don't want to say impressed me because it was they left a negative impression on me. Not too many left a positive impression on me. Nothing really impressed me. It was only one university professor who was a professor. And if you really want to know what that means he was able to dominate through his behavior, knowledge, style. Um, he was a professor. He was a courageous professor. He was not afraid to answer questions, and he was not afraid to answer questions believing in the truth of his answers. And he would not cave into um, students who were activists and they were trying to catch him. So um, that was the only professor I really admired at Michigan State University. The rest were unprepared, not ready intellectually and you know talking about knowledge, information. Well, I'm not saying they did not know certain things I didn't, but they were very shallow and they're they didn't have anything outside of it. So they if in their narrow field, not field, in the field they had a very narrow spike that they mastered. But if they went a little bit left or right, then they were lost and did not have a intellectual foundation. So I'm going to give you an example of a female professor. She was my astronomy professor. This astronomy, it was listed as science, I think. So it was like physics. We had to make a lot of do a lot of problems and exercises and physics and formulas and calculations and all kind of stuff. It was a very hard class, but I'm glad I was pushed to an extreme. It was very good class. She was a very good professor as well. Um, so she told us of one of her experiences, and it goes like this. She stated that she had to go abroad for whatever reason, and she didn't have a passport on the way back or something. She lost her passport. She lost her ID or something like that. So anyway, she flew back, and in the airport, in the United States, when she landed, she couldn't prove her identity. She couldn't verify her identity. She was saying, "My name is this, date of birth, this," but they didn't have her in the system or something. So she said, I'm a professor. I'm at this university, blah blah blah, and they would not believe. according to her. They would not believe her and so on. So then they said, okay, you're a professor of what? And she said, I'm a professor of astronomy. So then she was asked a question, okay, you're a professor of astronomy. They went over there, they discussed, blah, 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 and then they came back and said, okay, if you are a professor of astronomy, then we're going to give you a test. And then this is when she was like, what am I going to do? Who am I going to interact with? Okay. So then they said, okay, one of the questions was what is the most what is the brightest star in the sky in the night? So she was thinking, oh man, I'm screwed. And she said this was her process, thinking process. Well, I know that is Sirius. This is the brightest star in the sky, Sirius. But these guys, do they know that? Because people in general know or think that the North Star is the brightest star in the sky. So then she was afraid. She said, what if I would say Sirius? And these guys would be going by the, you know, North Star, because the audience, the guys, would be of that level. She would not pass the test. So she thought, but if I say the North Star is the brightest star in the sky, and they would somehow be knowledgeable, they would say, wrong, you're not a professor because you would know that. So she had this dilemma to lie because the audience she thought is not at her level and it would not know that, or tell the truth and maybe the audience would not know the truth and would not let her in. So she said, you know what, I'm just going to say the truth. I'm going to stand by the truth, and so be it. If they are as they are and they think no, it's incorrect, the North Star, then I stand by the truth. So she said it's Sirius, and luckily they said, yeah, that's correct, and they let her in according to the professor. That's the story. um, it happened to me a few times in my life, uh, when my audience, unfortunately my audience had more authority than me, so I was a subordinate, and you are the subordinate, and you are accused or of something, and you have to defend yourself. And then when you talk about that and you defend yourself, the audience does not understand what the hell are you talking about, and they take that as nothing. So they discard your, your examples or your answers because they don't understand it and they can't verify it. So there are certain points that you have to make in order to make your case and defend yourself. But if those points are not understood by the judges, then you're going to fail. You're going to be indicted, charged, convicted, and whatever happens. So um, it is just like you speak a different language sometimes. So how can you fix that? I mean, obviously, probably it happened the reverse when I was in a position of power and I was speaking with someone and I didn't know what the hell that person was talking about. I made a decision based on my limitations and I, made the wrong decision. Very possible. Haven't been told, but I'm not going to linger towards that. I'm just talking about the principle, not the individuals. What are we doing with that? What's going to happen? What I'm talking about my job, for instance. You can go to your job and do the same thing. You talk with someone, and that someone is clueless, ignorant of what you're saying. And the problem is that that person will hide behind a title to tell you you're not right, not behind the knowledge or the debate. or of the presentation of the facts or ideology or whatever you use. You know, they will not do that because they're not going to say, you know what, I'm a dumbass. I don't understand shit what you're saying, so I'm going to give you credibility without verifying. At least if they would say, okay, I don't know what you're talking about right now. Let me take some notes here, and we're going to discuss this at a later time, and we're going to have another conversation. No, they usually say, I don't know what you're talking about. Move on. But that's very important what I'm saying here, so they can verify it. It's just a situation that it's just I witnessed a situation. I was at the store and I was behind a lady who was at the she was paying, and the clerk over there. The conversation was well, it was in the morning and whatever, doesn't matter actually. There were two women, and one of them must have given a bill, I don't know, $20, $10 to the clerk. The clerk got the paper money, put it in a cash register, and then gave her change based on whatever the cash register said because she did not know that what the hell to calculate and so on. So she gave him change. So this lady said, "Well, I gave you this," and the other said, "No, you gave me this." And they were talking, "No, I gave you this. How much do I need to give you?" "Well, I think you only gave me this." "No, but you gave me." So they were like talking. They were using two different languages, and not only two different languages, two different interpretations of reality. So their realities were different, and they were trying to figure out how much change this one should get from the other one. But this person's reality was not the same as this person's reality. And not only that, they were not able to figure out how much and how they can figure things out. It was very enlightening, just realizing that people have at such a easy, small, unimportant uh, situation two interpretations of reality, and the way to solve this misunderstanding, they could not find a common ground because they have a different. This one was not understanding what this one was saying, this one was not understanding what this one was saying, and from behind it was, come on, you gave her 20, gave her the change. It was just a weird situation over there. They were very nice to one another. It was just that they had a different knowledge of the whole event, and they both thought they were right. And so many times I don't know how what to do when you find someone who, as I said, is has authority over you, can make decisions, and you explain something to that person doesn't understand what you're saying, and because they don't understand what you're saying, they don't take that as face value, or yeah, that's, and they block you access, or they don't validate your answer, your statements, and you feel like you have the power. You should not have the power over me at this point if you don't understand what I'm saying. But they do. How is that possible? Well, that's all I have for now. Be smart, be strong, find the truth, and do justice. See you later. Bye bye.